Hi, we are talking today to Jennifer Cunningham, the counselor at Brookhollow Elementary School. And thank you for joining us today, Ms. Cunningham.
Of
We
course,
appreciate
thanks.
it. And we just have some quick questions because I know everyone at school is missing everyone at home, and you're at home too, and they're missing school, so we're all missing each other.
Everybody's missing everybody.
Exactly. So what are some things that your family's been up to while you've been at home?
So, well, during the day, we're pretty much in our routines. School for the kids, work for the adults, lunch in between, all the fun stuff. And then we've been trying to stay outside when it's not raining. So if that entails playing in the backyard, playing soccer, going for walks, and all while respecting the rules that are in place to keep us safe.
Right.
We're doing those type of things. Lots of games or crafting things, turning stuff into stuff.
Oh, that's nice. Found objects.
Yes. And we've been doing some gardening too since we had all that rain. We decided to put some stuff in the ground before all that rain, and so now we're tending to the things that are coming up.
Oh, so y'all have a lot going on. You found a lot to do while you've been there.
Trying.
So that's good. And so a lot of parents have been asking about, how to best comfort their children during this time, kind of what to say. And I'm sure that you have some resources that you can share with us about that. But I'd also like to hear just kind of how you feel about those things, and from your professional opinion, what's the best way to approach this? Because I know also there are probably some parents who are pretty nervous about this, and they definitely don't want to share that with their children, but it's out there, it's real, we have to talk about it.
Of course, and it's the best thing to do is to talk about it. You can't ignore it. It's not going to go away. Things aren't going to magically go back to normal. So you have to talk with your children about it. And children are incredibly perceptive. They can tell when something's bothering you, even if you aren't saying something's bothering you. So it's better just to get it out. Now, the way that you get it out, it needs to be child friendly. You need to be honest.
Okay.
And you need to say what's going on, but don't give a lot of details. Stay with the positive. Say we're doing this to stay safe. Don't focus on fears and what ifs. Just stick with a short, abbreviated, fact-based snippet of what's going on, and just say, we're doing this to stay safe. And another thing that you can do to help kids so they don't see it as so scary is focus on the helpers, focus on the positive, focus on the time that you're getting to spend together, and that can help kids really see the bigger picture.
No, that's great. So now some of us have multi-level ages in our house, and we have a really big spread in our house. Right. What do you do with older siblings? Are there tips that you can use with much older siblings, like, hey, don't tell your little brother this, or hey, let's talk about that when your little sister's not around?
That is 100% appropriate, because you want to limit how much information is getting to them, because sometimes too much TV or too much news can be detrimental to the littles, because then they're exposed to things that you don't want them to be exposed to. But maybe the high school or college age kids, they can handle that. And I think it's 100% appropriate to consider your target audience and say, hey, let's talk about this at another time.
Right. Now, speaking of too much of news, I think honestly the adults, probably myself, are getting a little too much news right now. Do you have any tips for the adults, kind of ways that they can take themselves off the grid for a little while and spread, and while they're managing these children and all this news? And
I 100% think that we need to limit how much information we're allowing ourselves to digest daily, because this is such a fluid situation. It seems like every time you turn around, things are changing. And so, pay attention to the important stuff that we need to pay attention to, but I wouldn't try to get too caught up in the details, because the details aren't really going to change what we're doing day to day. Now, if something does make us change what we're doing day to day, of course, pay attention to that. But sometimes getting inundated with every single fact and detail can make us feel more overwhelmed.
That is a great point. Of course, there are things like, oh, now we're all going to wear masks, but we don't have to have every detail of every scientific study every single day.
Exactly.
It doesn't change it. No, thank you so much. That's great. So now we've had your professional opinion. We want your Ms. Cunningham, we see you in the hall and we wave at you opinion. So we're going to ask you some funny and silly questions now. So are you ready?
Boy. Oh boy.
Okay. So, well, we'll start off easy. What's your favorite sweet treat?
Okay, so I have a terrible sweet tooth. Terrible. Anything sweet. Ice cream, Cadbury eggs by the 4-pack.
Oh, I love those too.
It's kryptonite. I can't stop with the sugar.
Yes. All right. Well, sugar's always good. So what's your family's favorite game to play together?
The girls really love playing memory, like the memory games where you flip over
yes.
the little pictures and try to
Yes.
find those, or Candyland with my littlest daughter. So.
Oh, that's great. Actually, I read an article about Candyland the other day. It was invented during the polio epidemic by a teacher because so many of her students were at home and she wanted them to have something to do.
Well, it's serving its purpose again.
Exactly. It's a new pandemic game. Here we go. No, I love it. So do your kids play video games or do you play video games? Because the inquiring minds want to know if you play Minecraft or Roblox or any of those fun games that you know all the students at Brookhollow play.
So I know they're amazing games because I hear about them all the time, but
right.
We don't play any games. Oh my goodness.
Hey, actually that may be like high five to you. Because we're all inundated with them. Everybody else at the school, I think. So what are you missing the most about Brookhollow? And then what are you looking forward to the most for next year as you plan for next year?
That's an easy question. What do I miss the most? The kids.
Yeah.
I miss them terribly. It's amazing how they become such big pieces of your life every day in, day out. You see their smiling faces, you get the hugs, the high fives. You hear that, children, I miss you. And what am I looking?
Cunningham loves you guys.
I do. It's hard. It's very, very hard. And so what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to trying to get back to some resemblance of normal. Even if, things have to change a little bit for next year, I welcome it with open arms because I miss seeing all of our friends. I miss our routines. I miss our version of normal. So I can't wait for things to slowly come back to normal.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you one last question because I think that we've been talking a lot about being positive and looking toward the future right now. Mm-hmm. So what is your favorite thing that's happened either with friends or with family while we've been social distancing and while we've all been at home?
So I think with family, seeing my daughter's education and seeing her progress at home, I think we're getting a little bit of an inside peek right now that we might not normally get. So that's been really, really interesting. And I've also kind of loved the ingenuity that this has created. It's making us do things differently to create different types of memories that we probably wouldn't have done otherwise. So I think it's a little bit of a positive spin on what's been going on that we probably wouldn't have had otherwise.
Exactly. And it's giving everyone a big view into what it's like to be a teacher, counselor, or staff member at an elementary school.
Oh, yes. It definitely provides a different perspective for sure.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you joining us. Is there anything else that you would like to share with parents or families or the kids of Brookhollow?
I think that just in seeing everybody's work and seeing like the Zoom meetings, I think everybody is doing such a great job of adapting. I think that everybody is trying their best. I think that people are showing kindness and grace more than they have before towards their teachers, towards their friends, towards their parents. I think it's really making people the best versions of themselves right now. And I am so proud to be part of this community because I see it every day.
Well, at Brookhollow, we roar, and we're doing it. So thank you so much, Ms. Cunningham. It was great to have you today, and we look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Thanks so much, Mrs. King.